Members of the Nerd Kingdom, welcome to the first edition of CW Watch. This is where I break down the Arrowverse shows. So, and I guess CW Watch isn't an official title. I was thinking about Watchtower, but I think that's taken. So, I think CW Watch. CW Watch. Let's do CW Watch. If you like CW Watch, let me know. If you like Watchtower, let me know which one you prefer. So, let's talk about basically the Arrowverse this season as we gear up for mid-season finales. And then, of course, the Crisis on Earth X crossover event. We officially have an actual, real, 4-show crossover that is starts in Supergirl, finishes in Legends in a perfect way. Now, is the story perfect? It is. It's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent, well-timed, well-paced story from point A to point B. I mean, it's really well-paced. But, of course, they had 3 hours of time to work with, each show being 45 minutes. Now, most people go like, well, if they only have 45 minutes to work with it, of course, each of the first 3 parts ends on a cliffhanger to set up the next part. And, I mean, each cliffhanger is pretty big. I mean, I would say that, it gets bigger as you go along. I'm not going to spoil anything. So, except the stuff that you see in the trailer. Barry and Iris are getting married. Nazis from Earth X attack. But there's a twist. These leaders of the Nazis are evil doppelgangers of our own superheroes. Arrow, Supergirl, and not the Flash. But that's a spoiler, so I'm not going to say who it is. But it is slightly confusing. That is all I'm going to say. It's slightly confusing on who it is. I don't know who it is. Well, I do know who it is, but I don't know how it is who it is. As you know, Leonard Snart makes a nice return. I will say this, though. At the end of it, he says he's going to stick around on Earth 1 for a little while, sending the Ray back to Earth X. Cool. So that means Leonard Snart might, I don't know yet, have to wait till the mid-season finales next week, will be potentially rejoining the Legends of Tomorrow. Welcome back, Captain Cold. Welcome back. You are my highlight of the show for the first season. Your arc was so good. So I'm looking forward to what they do with Leo Snart and seeing what they do with his arc. Because he's much more of a good guy than our Snart was. Because our Snart was like the moral, like, heart of gold bad guy, So, let's see where he goes. Alright, so I'm going to break down each part, basically, doing a brief review of each part. So, part 1, Supergirl. Not much happens. It's basically set up. You gotta set it up, get everybody together. Highlight of the episode, though, is the Alex Sarah hookup. Yes. We have a rehearsal dinner, and, well, fuck, they're just Oh, well, they're gonna go fuck. Yep. Good for Alex. Good for Alex. Which does lead to some good awkward comedy throughout the crossover. I like it. Middle of the episode, the Nazis attack, and well, we're just basically from there thrown into the action. Middle of the episode, there's a big fight that lasts about 10 minutes. And Earth X's version of Prometheus is caught. And that's where part 1 ends. Part 2, which is continued on Arrow. Alright, so we are still in Central City. We are in Star Labs at this point. And we are now saying, we're talking about it. We're talking about what's going on. We're discussing Earth X. And it is revealed who everybody is. We now know that Arrow is Arrow, Overgirl is Supergirl, and we know who the Flash character is. Again, not gonna say. It's pretty shocking. And no, he's not an. And I will say this: he's not an Earth X Flash. That is the only thing I will say, because I'm not going to go into spoilers. So, and Prometheus is revealed. A lot of people who theorized who he was said that he was Tommy Merlin. And that is correct. He is the Earth X version of Tommy Merlin, which does lead to some pretty decent dialogue for Oliver and the actor who plays Tommy. Welcome back to your arrowverse for your 5-minute cameo. But I'm glad that he was able to come back. I'm glad he was able to come back again, because I know he was in last year's crossover. So, I don't know if they're going to make a thing of that, just bring him back for the crossovers. I don't know. We'll see. He's a busy actor. So, but part 2 is wrapped up when our heroes are captured by the Nazis and tossed into Earth X, where of course we will meet the Ray and we will meet Leo. Alright, moving on to part 3. Part 3 takes place on Earth X for the most part. There is a side story on back on Earth 1, where the actual plot, the villain's plot, is finally revealed entirely. So, Overgirl's dying, and she needs the heart of Supergirl. Now, I'm not spoiling anything. Literally, I'm going off of IMDb description, literally going off of what IMDb says for plot stuff. So I'm trying not to do major spoilers. So we have literally plot point over here. Heroes need to escape from prison. Plot point over here. We need to free Supergirl, and that is up to Felicity and Iris. And talk about the girlfriends getting to actually be badasses. Yay! They actually get stuff to do instead of occasionally being annoying little twats. Felicity less, Iris way more in her annoyance level. And that is nothing against Candace Patton. I'm sure she's a lovely actress. Pretty sure she's just reading your script. But God, Iris is an annoying character. So, moving on to part 4. Okay, heroes are freed. Woohoo! And oh wait, sorry, this is part 3 stuff. Heroes are freed from prison in the middle of the episode, and we meet up with Earth X Win. He's a good guy, and it is revealed that they have this breach system, and it's like a big lab, and the heroes want to blow it up. Not our heroes, but the Earth X militia, I guess, wants to blow it up. Well, that's a bad thing because, well, our heroes got to get back to Earth 1. So, hey, plans go well. Flash and Ray fight Red Tornado, and the heroes do make it through, but someone, not gonna say who, tragically gets fatally injured. Moving on to part 4, the ending, of course. So we're back on Earth 1, it's Legends of Tomorrow, and of course, since the Legends episode, it mostly takes place on the Wave Rider. Everybody's on the Wave Rider, we're trying to figure out a plan. Earth X has their own Wave Rider. They're attacking the city, and Overgirl is about to die. She's about to go supernova. So, and as you know, our heroes do prevail. There is one casualty from the hero's side. The person who was fatally injured in episode 3. And then we have Overgirl dies. She does go supernova, but Supergirl is able to fly her out of the way before she can do any damage. Oliver sees it happen. The evil Oliver sees it happen. And in his distracted moment, our Oliver is able to kill evil Oliver. Yay! Now, as for evil Flash, Barry lets him go. And saying that they'll see each other again. Teasing more of that character, because he's still on that Earth somewhere. I guess he might have time traveled somewhere. Who knows? Who knows if he'll pop up on Legends? Don't know. So in the wrap up, everybody says goodbye to each other, and John finally gets to be in the crossover. I mean, of course, he's been injured, so he can't actually fight or anything. So he's brought in to do one thing: actually marry Barry and Iris, which they have a very, very private wedding with just Oliver and Felicity. By the way, here's your one spoiler. One, big spoiler, I guess. Felicity finally elopes! Yay! For Felicity fans! Woo! Yay! Yay! Alright, they finally eloped. After 6 seasons, they're married. Yes! And hopefully she doesn't get shot this time. Don't think she's going to, though. Think she's alright. I mean, our villain's Richard Dragons, and he didn't seem like that much of a threat when John Diggle was around, so, when Oliver Queen comes back, it's done. It's done. I mean, unless he seems to be more of a formidable threat later, I don't know. So, let's talk about the seasons as a whole, because, the crossover, it's kind of its own story. Some of the stuff that's been going on is mentioned, but really not. I mean, there's nothing about the Thinker or anything like that mentioned. There's nothing about Dragon mentioned. There's nothing about Supergirl stuff mentioned. So let's talk about the seasons as a whole, leading up to the mid-season finales, and what can be expected with the mid-season finales. Um, so let's start off with night one, Supergirl. My guess in Supergirl, we are going to deal with rain. Supergirl season 3 has been decent so far. It's not the best of the seasons. Season 2 is definitely the best. It's not as good as season 2, but it's better than season 1. So, I like the stuff with rain. Mon-El stuff's okay, but, at least that was kind of a back burner, and now it's back. So, I would say this. Supergirl season 3 is probably leading more into, because they're going to be setting up the Legion of Superheroes, who are going to probably play a bigger part in part 2 of the season, and maybe we'll see a little bit more of improvement as we go along. So, not a perfect season so far, but not a down season, so good job, Supergirl. Alright, Flash. This is one of the best seasons of Flash yet. I'm really enjoying the storyline. I'm really enjoying the chemistry between the characters. As always, the actors have great chemistry with each other. And the Thinker is a smart villain. And I'm not just saying that because he's actually intelligent. I'm saying the way that they created this character, the way that they actually did his episode where they figure out who he is, that is super intelligent, and that was one of the best episodes ever for a villain reveal of the Flash. As you know, around the mid-season is actually when the villain's usually revealed. They did it right before the mid-season. We're good. So, this is not a speedster villain, and it is their most challenging villain yet. It is perfectly set up. That it has been a perfectly paced season. Wally took a back burner because Barry was kind of, super powerful. Barry's not doing well right now, so it's perfect time for Wally to come back. So, Wally, welcome back. You're definitely needed. So, Legends of Tomorrow. We are gonna deal with Mollusk. For the past couple episodes, we've been setting up the revitalization of Damien Dark, and but magic is definitely a big bad guy this season. We got magic villains everywhere. So, who's coming in after the mid-season finale? He's going to come back for a two-parter, and that is none other than fan favorite Matt Ryan as John Constantine. Welcome back. He's going to help the Legends out. And I'm really looking forward to his arc. So, but my guess is the mid-season is going to focus on the fallout of losing one of their team members, but also they are going, and where one of the characters fits into the Legends at this point, followed by them dealing with probably who Mollusk is. Finding out John Noble will probably make his first appearance, maybe at the end of the episode. Is like, hey, I'm here. John Noble finally here. What's up, people? I mean, we heard his voice a couple episodes ago, and so now we're gonna have probably him show up. Finally, on Arrow, we are probably going to finish this Oliver Queen is my guess, Oliver Queen is gonna end up in jail, maybe, at the mid-season finale. That is my guess. Arrow has been good this season. I think the stuff with William, I was really worried about it. They've handled it pretty well. They've handled that father-son dynamic really, really well. The story's really good. The chemistry between the actors is really good. I like John as the Green Arrow. I like the arc they did. They took an arc right from the comics. It's pretty decent. They've already handled that fallout. Oliver is the Green Arrow right now. And I'm pretty sure, because of course in the Thanksgiving episode we did see him arrested. My guess is the mid-season finale is gonna focus on that trial, maybe the trial of Oliver Queen. So, and then at the end, he will probably either be found guilty or something bad's gonna happen in the mid-season finale, because it's the mid-season finale. And something bad's gonna have to happen. I'm gonna say that flat out. Something bad is gonna happen. That's my prediction. So that's the CW Watch. I'm your Nerd King here. So until next week for the mid-season finales, where I will be discussing all the mid-season finales. This was a special edition of CW Watch because of the crossover, but beginning next week, and unless there's a time change, we will be having our CW Watch on Fridays. So, thanks guys.